guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to film a Q&A. I asked on Instagram if you had any questions, and so I'm going to be answering those questions today. So I've got my clipboard and let's get started. Fave go-to toner formula for max brass toning in fastest time. So hands down, fastest toners I use are shades EQ from Redken. I use those pretty much 100% of the time I tone. Very rarely do I use Matrix sheer line, which is kind of their toning line. I use Logix by Matrix, so like So Color, I don't use anything else like that. Like I only use the Logix line. So if you ask me a question about So Color, which still does Matrix, like Matrix still makes So Color, I don't know because I never use So Color. I only use Logix, and so whenever I say Matrix or Logix, that's what I mean, the Logix line by Matrix. Hi Clyde. Hi Clyde. Puppy just joined us. Okay, so probably for max brass toning, I would probably do, okay, first of all, it depends on the level. So brassiness is usually from like a level 6 to a level 8-ish. Once you get past 8, it's more like a yellow honey tone. Brass, and like the hardest to tone away is like brunette brass. You can even you can get brass in 5 and 4 too. But I would probably use, like, they have, Shades EQ has a T, they have a GN, so T is like titanium, so that's gray. GN is green, so it's like they have like a color called moss or ivy, things like that's going to tone out the more like redder brassiness. They have B's, blue, which will help tone out more the orange brassiness. So anything like that, what you want to do is you want to look on the color wheel and red, green, orange, blue. So you want to like counteract those and that'll make a neutral. So any of those from Shades EQ is probably my best bet for toning brassiness. Next question, how long do you take start to end to do color and all over highlights, and how much do you charge? So I get asked how much I charge all the time, and honestly it's different per client. What I usually say is my color prices range from $180 minimum to $250 max most of the time. Other times it's higher, and then my color corrections I do per hour, so I charge $100 per hour. So depending on how long your color correction takes, because color corrections can be all day long if it's really bad. And you're constantly using like products, like I don't think people understand, if you're not a cosmetologist, that the products we use cost a lot of money. Like we spend that money, that's our own money out of our own pockets, to buy, to be able to give you like the best hair we can, because we only want to use the best products on you, because then your hair is going to be beautiful, it's going to hold shine, it's going to be the perfect color, it's going to be healthy, which is the most important. So yeah, that's kind of where my prices go. Usually for timing wise, I do 2 hours. So I used to double book. Now I don't, because I just found it was kind of stressful for me, and so to like alleviate the stress, I just do 2 hours, which turns out to be the perfect amount of time most of the time. There are those occasional clients that go over, or someone that doesn't tell you they have super long hair or super thick hair, and you're like, they want a full head of highlights, and you're like, I can't do that in 2 hours. So there's always that, but yeah, usually 2 hours is what I do, and I don't double book. I just have that one client for 2 hours, and then I move on to the next client, things like that. So that is like how much my price ranges go, and then my timing. So next question, how long did it take you to feel fully confident as a stylist in every aspect, client-wise and service-wise? As well as how long did it take you to keep a full clientele? Okay, that's a good question. To be fully confident as a stylist, I feel really confident in like my knowledge of hair and the chemistry behind it and mixing color and haircuts and like how it lays and all that stuff. I'm still super awkward as like talking to my clients behind my chair. I'm really quiet. I actually like to just like do hair quietly. I mean, if it's someone I know, obviously I'll talk, but making small talk, especially for new clients, I'm so bad at. So sorry to any clients that I've had where I'm just like super awkward and don't really know what to say and just stand there quietly weaving your hair. I just am so awkward at that. Kate, my best friend who's a stylist, she's brilliant at talking. She just talks and it's so easy, and I'm like, ugh, I wish I was like that. But I'm really like, client-wise, like behind the chair, I'm like, ugh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, and so I'm super awkward with that. How long did it take me to feel confident as a stylist? Hair-wise, hair just kind of clicked for me. Like, I understood it, I understood the chemistry behind it, I understood the shape of the hair, like, it just all like made sense going through school, and so I felt pretty good like leaving school. Obviously, when you leave beauty school, you know nothing about formulating color, so don't even think that's something you need to know, because honestly, I doubt any stylist that leaves beauty school like right after beauty school knows exactly how to formulate. Like, even I still don't, like, I know how to use the colors I use, but if you told me to use Wella or yeah, Wella, because that's what Kate uses, I'm like, I don't know those numbers because they use a whole different scale. And so I went to Aveda, by the way, and so they did the number scale. So it's pretty simple, and you like mixed in like additives and like created your own color. So that's what I'm used to. That's like why a lot of the time I don't measure my color, because I'm so used to just mixing it to what I think needs to be in there instead of like exact amounts of each thing, because that's just how I learned in school. That's just how my brain works. I was going to go to art school, and maybe sometime I'll tell you like how I got into beauty. If you want to see that video, comment down below. But I was going to go to art school. Well, that's what I would have done if I had gone to college. But I went into beauty school instead. And so it's just like an art form to me. I feel like an artist, like mixing my colors is like mixing my paints. And so that's kind of like, you have to find your niche with that. Like, you have to find out what makes you comfortable. Clyde keeps eating tape off the floor. And then the second part is, how long did it take you to build a clientele? It took me a while. So when I first started out of beauty school, I went into a salon as an apprentice, because everyone does that, or an assistant. I did that for about a year, and then I left and I did a salon loft with Kate. So we did every other, and I had no clientele. I don't know how I paid for that salon loft. I had no clientele. I literally would work anytime someone would want me to, because I was so desperate. But really, like, starting YouTube helped a lot. Just constantly posting on social media and like getting my name out there and getting followers, that really helped a lot. And word of mouth, honestly, that is huge. People telling their friends, their family about you, and getting clientele that way, like, that's really big. A lot of the time at the beginning I would do like little gifts or referral programs to be able to get that clientele. So really, once you get there, I feel like there's a line that once you get to that line, like, people just keep coming to you, but it's really hard getting to that line, trust me, I know. So just like be persistent, keep at it. Don't get discouraged, even though it's so hard to build a clientele. Just like keep going. I mean, the more you practice doing hair, the more you'll learn, the better you'll be, and then the more clients you'll get, because people will want you to do their hair. So yeah, it took me a while. It took me about a little over a year to really get a full clientele, maybe even 2 years, to get like a steady, like, okay, I can be a full-time stylist now. Next question. When I use shades EQ toner 9T, 9B, 9P equal parts, it seems like I end up losing the blonde. I'm looking for a bright blonde. What am I doing wrong? Do I need to dilute with clear? How much? So I actually don't like mixing all those colors together, because I agree, I feel like it dulls out the blonde a little bit too much. What I really love to do when I'm looking for that bright blonde is, you almost have to think of it as like the filler. My favorite toner combination would be like an N or an NB with a T or a V or a P. So I mix, and if I want it more ashy, I'll probably do 9P, 9V, and 9N. Because that 9N just, it creates more of a substance. It makes, like, it's like the filler, it's the underneath, and then once that hair has that 9N in it, then it can get the tone from the 9V and 9P to where it's that super beautiful bright blonde and icy, but you're not losing the blonde. So that's kind of how I think about it, because I do agree that if I mix, now I've seen stylists that will mix 9T, 9P, and 9V and get a bright blonde, but really for me I feel like if I mix all three of those together, only those, that it just makes a blonde look too cool tone where it's not bright and vibrant like blondes I want. So I agree. Sometimes I use clear, especially if you want like the 12, because shades only goes to 9. You can do like half 9V, half 9P, and half clear. Mix those all together and that'll give you a brighter icy blonde. So you could use clear. I use it occasionally, but not too often. But you really, Shades of Q is just messing around with it, practicing, trying different things, and just like having fun with it. Like, be that artist that you were trained to be. Prices from starting out till now. My prices starting out, I mean, when I was in the loft, I didn't have any clientele, so like they were really low. I think my highest was $110. So $110 was like my all-time, like, maybe even, I think I might have, like, I mean, you start so slow, you start low and then you just build. I mean, and it depends on where you are. Like, are you in a city or are you in a rural area? Are you in the suburbs? Like, where are you? That really depends on how much you can charge, because how much people will pay. And then, like, yeah, and then how long have you been doing it? Do you have a good clientele? Like, are people recommending you? Like, all those things factor into what you can charge. Next question. I had two questions that were kind of similar. It was talking about, so there's like a bunch of different methods for like the balayage look or whatever. The lived-in hair. So there's like balayaging on top, there's teasing, there's baby lights, like, so their questions are, when do I use what technique, and how do you mix the techniques together? Honestly, I don't have like a specific way that I do that, or like a formula like, oh, if she has this and wants this, this is what I do. You can totally calculate it that way. A lot of the times I'm like, what do I feel like I like doing? Like, what am I really into? What look? So right now I really love the like taking horizontal sections, weaving a little baby light out of it and teasing, and that creates this really piecey balayage blonde, like lived-in look, and I'm really loving that at the moment. If they want like a complete ombre, I will go for more of you take the section, you hold it so it's a V, you paint it on top with a paintbrush, you lift it up, you paint it on the bottom, and you completely saturate the ends, and you do the foil. If they're looking for more of that, that's kind of the technique I would use, just because I can work in bigger sections, and since I'm covering more of the head with lightener, I need to be able to work fast and do bigger sections, whereas the weaving and teasing is a lot finer sections because it is more piecey, whereas that one is more all over. I really love doing both of those techniques mixed with baby lights around the hairline, because I just think that pops and you get that nice big statement piece, and when they pull their hair back they have the blonde going on. So it's just what you're feeling, what your client's feeling, what kind of trends are out, what are they looking for, things like that, and what you have fun with doing. You don't just want to do the same thing on every single client. That just gets so boring. So mix it up. I mean, there's so many different ways to achieve the same look, so just have fun with it and try something new. Okay, next question. Advice for someone starting cosmetology school. I love it when I meet people that are starting out in cosmetology school, because It is a blast, and it's also crazy. I mean, you will meet so many different people, so many different kinds of people that you never thought you would ever see. And it's really cool to meet all those people, to spend so much time with those people because you're going through school together, and bonding, and you just create this friendship in this group. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's beauty school, there's drama, obviously. But it is a lot of fun, and really just take it seriously. Don't just try to whip through it. Really do take it seriously and take the classwork seriously, because I went to Aveda, and so we did like a 3 months of just straight book work, and I was like, what the heck is this? This isn't beauty school. But honestly, you really need to know all that stuff. It's so helpful, and it puts you above all the rest. I don't know how many times I've heard, like, you have to go to school to do hair? Like, did you teach yourself? You have to go to school to cut hair? I'm like, yeah, you have to go to school. I'm working with chemicals that can burn your head off. Like, yeah, so it's just funny, but really do take it seriously and just practice. It might be hard at first, but you'll get it. And don't, like I said, don't be afraid when you graduate, you feeling uncomfortable with mixing color or formulating, because everyone feels that way. And you really just get into a salon. Like, I really want people to go into a salon and be an apprentice or an assistant before they try to go on their own, because you learn so much in a salon that you do not learn in beauty school. So you have to, it's like almost a requirement for me, is like, you have to go and be an apprentice at a salon, shadow under somebody, watch what they do, ask questions, try to learn as much as you can from them and people around them, because you honestly learn so much more from that than you do in beauty school. Beauty school is basics. Beauty school is not trendy. It doesn't give you the different colors, like you're usually only working with one color line. So, and there's so many techniques, there's so many color lines, there's so much out there that aren't the basics, and the basics are what taught at beauty school, and it's just taught to pass state board. And so if you go straight from beauty school to on your own, you're just gonna be stuck. So really just be focused, take it seriously, and then try your hardest to get into a salon right after beauty school so you can keep learning. Okay, this is a good one. What kind of shoes and clothes do you recommend to stay comfortable behind the chair? So I have really bad knees and lower back and ankles. So I have to wear inserts or insoles or whatever you want to call them. I have Dr. Scholl's, the thing you can do at CVS. And those are amazing. I seriously cannot go a day without wearing them, even if I'm not working. My feet will kill me if I don't, so I always have those in my shoes. I also find a small, fat heel really helps, because it arches up the foot a little bit more than just a flat shoe. I do wear flat tennis shoes, but I also always have my inserts in them, and I wear my inserts in every single shoe I work at. I have gotten a back brace before, so if your back really hurts, I would look into that. And honestly, you just have to wear clothes that are comfortable and you don't mind getting color on, because it's inevitable. You're going to get color or liner on your clothes. I mean, it happens every time, unfortunately. So yeah, just comfortable, really go for comfort over fashion, because it'll help you in the long run. Okay, next one. I use Matrix Color also, but I'd like to try the Redken toners. How long do the Shades EQ toners usually last, and what would you use to get a cooler caramel tone? So, cool. I love Redken Shades EQ. I love Redken products. I would switch over to Redken Color if I wasn't really stuck on Matrix. I mean, I don't really even use Matrix too much. It's just, I could do it, but I just don't. And I don't know why, so if you ask me in the comments, I'll be like, I don't know, I just haven't yet. I probably will eventually. But Redken Shades EQ, it lasts a while, a couple weeks. You can get it 3 months maybe if you really take care of your hair, especially blondes. And you use proper shampoo, condition it properly so you're not stripping it out. A lot of people mix up, I need to use purple shampoo constantly. Purple shampoo can strip the toner out of your hair, and then you're left with just brass that you're trying to cover up with purple, and then it turns gray or purple, and it's just the constant battle. between brass and purple, and it's like if you use a really moisturizing shampoo and then use the purple every other, and then after the purple use a really moisturizing conditioner, you're gonna keep that toner in there because your hair is healthy. It's not spitting it out, it's not getting stripped from your hair. And so really just keeping your hair healthy will keep your toners longer. What was the other part? And what would you use to get a cooler caramel tone? So it's really hard when people ask me, I have this and I want to do this, what should I use? Because the problem is that I'm not behind the chair. I don't have your hair in my hands. I'm not looking, I'm not talking to you about color, history. Like, there's so many factors that go into coloring hair that it can't just be like, I have a level 5, I want to do balayage, what toner should I use? I'm like, whoa, like, what kind of level 5? Do you have a warm level 5? Do you have a cool level 5? What do you have on your hair? Is it virgin hair? Has it been colored with box color? Is it colored with professional color? Is that professional color permanent or demi? Those two things will be huge. What does your hair, then when we start lightening, what is your hair pulling to? Like, is it staying in that red phase? Is it going to orange at all? Maybe even lifts to yellow, and like, that's amazing. So it's like, I can't give you an exact formula because I don't know what's happening with your hair. So that's really tricky, and I wish I could, but I really can't, and I don't feel comfortable giving you a formula and you trying it out and it just being completely wrong, because that would suck, and I don't want to be responsible for that. So it's really hard to do color formulations over the internet, unfortunately. Okay, I had this one question, and I kind of like summarized into how to blend and enhance gray hairs. So she was kind of saying like she has clients that want to embrace their grays and stop getting it colored so often, and she wants to know a good toner for like baby lights to mix with grays. So that all depends on, does she have completely gray hair? Like, does she have blonde hair and have some grays? Does she have brown hair, have some grays? Does she have colored hair, have some grays? So really, if you're just gonna do that, I mean, just start stripping the color if you can. Baby lights are gonna look the most like gray hairs. You can tone those baby lights with like a 9T, that's gonna be a grayer color. So yeah, that's kind of like, it's just like doing it. Like, baby lights are gonna be your best technique because it's going to be as fine as gray hairs would look. And then you're going to want a really light, cool, toned color. So like 19, things like that. Shades of cues. And then last question is also a color question, so I kind of went over that, but I'll read it anyway. Level 5, covering gray, but wanting some honey toned balayage as well. Would you use 20 volume on both color and lightener, and the tone with shades? I would definitely tone with shades. I don't know exactly what toner, like what mixture I would use, but I would use shades of Q. If you are covering gray, you do want to use 20 volume. Well, actually, you can just use 10 volume because you're just depositing. If you're lifting the base color, like if she wants it lifted and grays covered, then use 20 volume. If she just wants gray, 10 volume's fine. Because 10 volume just deposits, it doesn't lift. So I always use 10 volume on gray coverage. I also use Logix, the full line in Logix. So there's permanent, full, sheer. Sheer is like a toner, full is like a demi, permanent is permanent. I don't ever use permanent. I rarely use sheer, I mostly just use full. Full can cover gray if you've left it on for the full 45 minutes. And I also use this little mixture called Gray Magic. I'll put a little bit of that in there, and that just ensures that the grays are going to be covered. So if I have grays, that's what I use. I honestly don't get that many gray clients. I get more of the balayage, baby lights, blonde, because I'm a blonde specialist. So yeah, I don't really get many gray coverage. So that's why I just don't use permanent, and permanent's so hard to take out. I just don't want to mess with that. If demi's going to cover it, I'm going to use demi. And that's kind of why I've stuck with Matrix, because I like the fact that it's a demi color, but it also covers grays, and it's great. So yeah, you can just use the balayage technique, I guess. The thing is, guys, is that all my videos, you don't have to use exactly what's on that video. Like, you can adapt that color to the colors you want. Like, maybe my client's level that you watch is a level 7, but you can do it on a level 5, 4. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just the technique that I'm showing you. The formulation is gonna be different from client to client. So take that one lightly, really just focus on the technique. What am I doing? Where am I placing the foil? Where am I placing the color? What are my angles? Those types of things, and then learn how to formulate color and toners, and then you're going to be able to use that technique on so many different kinds of clients because you've nailed the technique, you've nailed the formulation, now you're set to go. So just focus on the technique more than the formula. So many people that's probably my most requested question is, what was the formula? I didn't hear the formula. Can you tell me the formula? Can you put it in? Don't focus on the formula because it's different for your client than it was for mine. Focus on the technique, and then you can learn the formulas as you go. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you guys so much for all your questions and your support. It's honestly incredible what you guys have done for me with YouTube and Instagram, and it's just amazing, and I thank you guys so much. It's just, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Go follow me on Instagram at hairbylexidawn if you haven't already. I have so many more things on there. I also have this series called Instagram Formulas, so on my Instagram I post a lot of photos that I don't have a video on, and if you want to know what techniques and formulas I did for that color, DM me and I will make a video on it. I have a blonde one up right now. So yeah, thank you guys so much again. I love you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!